Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail and I have two really fun ladies on my show today, and I know you've met them on this television channel before. It's Judy Einach, who's pretty famous by now, and Sue Crawford Poster from Westfield. She is with the Chamber of Commerce over there and some other organizations, right?
Yeah, I keep busy.
Oh, okay.
She does.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and our topic for the day is economic development in small towns.
Towns and villages, yes.
Towns and villages, okay. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you to the both of you for coming on. We're going to have a fun conversation today. Now, Sue, tell us what your responsibilities with Chamber of Commerce. This is in Westfield?
Yes, I'm a coordinator for Westfield, Barcelona, and I have some businesses in Ripley as well. They've been reaching out because they don't have a chamber over there.
Oh,
so
don't they?
No. Mm-hmm. So I have some members over there. My position, as I see it, and is to make a presence known and to do whatever I can to enhance Westfield, Barcelona, and now into Ripley too. And I think community involvement is important and a positive outlook. And so I've worked really hard just to be a presence, to let people know that the Chamber of Commerce is there, and to, my phone number's out there if people want to call me on anything and everything. And I take care of the first Fridays. I get the lineup done for that. Those are like street parties that we have in the summertime, and I work with other organizations to try to pull other things together, and just whatever my members need from me. Yesterday I created a menu for one of my members, so just whatever I can do to help, and because I love Westfield and Barcelona.
Westfield is a really nice place.
It is.
I worked there for 10 years in that first resource center group home that was there. Mm-hmm. And when that closed down, I moved with my husband and I both worked there, and we moved with that group of people to a group home in Jamestown when they closed up that house. So,
and where was that?
It was one of the ones on Hunt Road. There's 3 on Hunt Road, two that were built special, but we lived in another one that had been a privately owned residence. A family owned it before. They called it the Randall Group Home because that was the last name of the people that lived there, apparently. Okay. So it was a pretty interesting 21 years for me. So
Westfield's beautiful. It gets under your skin. I lived there in the 60s, and then because of my dad's job, we moved, and I was gone. I came back to visit, but I was basically gone for 45 years.
Oh, were you?
I came back, and and I just couldn't be happier.
Yeah. I remember the Westfield people were always really, really nice to the people that I took care of and everything. So
it's a special place.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of disappointed when I had to go to Jamestown to work. But I got used to it because I worked on Sundays, so part of my job was to take people to church on Sunday mornings, and we went to Bethel Lutheran Church in Jamestown, and the congregation there was really nice for the guys, and they even started a Sunday school class for them there. So
nice.
And we were just, at that point in time, we were just 5 minutes, a 5-minute drive from just about anything that they could want to do. There was so much going on in Jamestown. So I enjoyed working in both of those places, both Westfield and Jamestown.
Yeah.
So now, are there other events that the Chamber sponsors?
Well, we work with other groups to do things, and right now we're working on reviving the Lincoln Festival, which was last held in 2004.
Oh, it's been a while
Yeah,
since you've had
yeah.
it then.
It was a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And so we're going to bring it back kind of slowly. We had some T-shirts and stuff left over, so we brought those out of storage and started selling them at Farmers Market last year, and
Oh.
then they're being sold at Peaceful Designs on Main Street in
Okay.
Westfield. And because we brought those out, they're just beautiful shirts with the statue of Grace Bedell and Lincoln on them. And so we thought, well, we'll get some money so we can do some things in town. So that's why we're selling them. Then people started saying, well, when is the Lincoln Festival? It's like, oh, well, it's not around anymore. So we decided we're going to revive it, and it will be the second weekend in June in conjunction with the Civil War days that we have in the park there.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
we're going to encourage people to dress in period costume, and I'm looking into getting a Lincoln reenactor to come, and we need to find a little Grace Bedell. But
Yeah, my husband actually is very tall and sort of has that Lincoln look, although he's 70 years old now, and I don't know that
Don't
Lincoln
think that
lived to be
Lincoln
that
got that
old.
old, no.
So I'm not sure if he'd be able to.
yeah.
He'd fit in with playing the part or not.
Well, I know a couple from of Lincoln reenactors from Michigan, and so I'm working on getting one of them to come out.
So it's something they normally do.
Oh,
then.
they live the part of Lincoln. Yeah, yeah. We once had a Lincoln funeral luncheon.
A Lincoln funeral.
Well,
luncheon.
his casket, or it wasn't a casket. What are they? His coffin was on display. It was a traveling thing. This remake of it was on display. So it was coming to my area in Detroit, near Detroit. And so this historical group that I have, we had a funeral luncheon in honor of this. Well, this Lincoln reenactor showed up at the luncheon unannounced.
Oh, how lovely.
Was he,
walking
was,
around.
he, was he a very tall person then,
He
too?
is,
Yeah.
yes. And he very much looks like Lincoln.
Does he really?
Yeah, but that just wasn't the place for him to show up.
The ghost of Lincoln. So
It freaked people out.
I bet it did. I was in Springfield, Illinois, and the Lincoln Library is there. And there are a number of displays that show Lincoln in his office, Lincoln with his boys, Lincoln with his wife, Lincoln. And I mean, if we think that this period of time is nasty with cartooning, or under the Barack Obama administration that cartooning was nasty, it was nasty in Lincoln's day.
It was.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
right.
I didn't know about that.
And Mary was vilified.
Oh, yes, his wife.
Oh,
But Lincoln was notorious. He was messy, very, very messy. And there is one display of his office, his law office, with a big desk, and there's a couch, and he's lying on the couch. It's a wax figure. He's lying on the couch, and he's so long that his legs are over the arm of this sort of Victorian kind of couch. There are papers everywhere. He's reading a paper. There are papers everywhere.
Even on the
Everywhere.
floor?
Oh, everywhere. There's no order to this office whatsoever. His sons, one of his sons is standing on the desk with a bottle of ink that he's going to throw at his brother.
Oh, no.
And those two are acting up, and from what I understand, Mary was always asking him to please discipline the children. He was so absorbed
In his job.
in his thoughts and his job and what his purpose in life was, that he really was not at all a good disciplinarian.
So, did you ever hear what kind of people his kids turned out to be then? Did
Well,
they?
the ones that lived turned out all right. Yeah.
Oh, so some of them died
Oh, yeah.
really
I think 3 of them died.
Yeah.
There was only
Yeah.
one
when
that
they were
lived.
children?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
Well,
sad.
a couple of them were killed in the war, in the Civil War. I
Yeah, but
think,
they were
as
still
soldiers,
young.
but- yeah, oh,
Yeah.
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 Oh.
And Robert was the one that, he lived beyond Lincoln, and
Right.
he's the one that put Mary Todd Lincoln in the facility.
But then she came out.
Yeah.
She wasn't able to take care of herself anymore, or what?
People had you know, I've watched documentaries and read some books, several books about the Lincolns, and I think she got, well, women at that, here we go, we're back to women again. Women at that time, if they were having tough issues that they had to deal with in life, were just told that they were insane or ill, and
Useless.
Nobody was working through it with them in any healthy way, and without that kind of intervention, I imagine some behaviors looked bizarre, and so she was confined.
Of course, most people have some bizarre behaviors.
Who?
Well, I can
That's
think,
all right. That's company
I
accepted.
can think of one really famous one, and the viewing audience by now is probably guessing who I'm thinking of.
Uh-oh.
So go there.
I'm not going to mention his name, though.
Okay. Oh,
But it is a man.
you mean the fabulous public speaker we get to listen to on occasion?
What do you mean on occasion?
On occasion.
Constantly,
Yeah.
practically. So, back to economic development.
So can I jump in on that one?
Yes.
Okay. So all these things that Sue was talking about, that she's spearheading in Westfield, along with others, because nobody
yeah,
ever does anything alone.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
And are the kinds of things that are making small towns and villages all over the United States revitalize. It's just local people saying, I'm not waiting for anything to happen. I'm just going to start making something happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
And,
And in Westfield, we really have a lot of wonderful things going on. We have a lot of people that volunteer, with the hospital, the YWCA, the churches. We have Lakeshore Center for the Arts, which Judy and I are both board members of. We've brought, the arts to Westfield. But in addition to us, there are other galleries. We have a fantastic library. Our library is just,
it's beautiful.
well, it's a gorgeous building alone.
it's the
but-
center of the community.
It
Oh,
really
yeah,
is.
yeah.
There's so many
Yeah.
programs and things there, and but we have the Westfield Community Kitchen. We have Thrifty Kitty. We have the Canine Rescue. We really,
Yes.
the bones are all there, and we're doing everything we can to enhance it. Not to mention our wine trail. We have wineries, outstanding wineries and distilleries in Westfield, and we have new stores coming. We have such a revitalization going on.
Yeah, there's a lot
And,
of stores.
Yeah, I was at a meeting last week in Mayville with the Orton Foundation, and I was listening to it and, absorbing what I could, because my thought is that what's good for Westfield is good for Mayville, and it's good for Ripley, it's good for Brockton.
But it's good in principle, but everybody has to find what's unique to their own
Exactly.
town or village.
Absolutely. And that's partly what they said. So I do a lot of Facebook stuff, social networking. And we're trying to see what people want, what people like. And it's
Yeah, I think part of the problem with Mayville is the fact that it's more of a touristy kind of village, and some merchants have trouble making a go of it because they can only make money in the summer months.
yeah, we have that issue in Westfield as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything around here really slows during the
Yeah.
cold months.
But I hear from residents that that's kind of good. They
Yeah,
kind of like
that's
that
what we like to
it's
hear.
slower, it's quiet. You know,
Yeah.
the winters here are a little more laid back. Sometimes
Very
in the
much.
nice weather, we're just
Yeah.
go because we have so much going on.
Well, there are a lot of people, when we get snow, this winter we haven't had it all the time, but
Until recently.
the Mayville area does attract a lot of people to the area that have snowmobiles.
Right.
They want to drive around on
And
the
ice
snowmobile.
fishing on Chautauqua
Right,
Lake.
right.
Yeah, and next week
And the
they're going
castle.
next week they're going to start cutting the blocks for the castle.
Oh, is Chautauqua Lake frozen over enough to start doing that?
They said it is, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know. That's about another month from now, isn't it?
It's, I think, the 16th, 17th, 18th
Yeah,
of February.
yeah,
It's President's
that's it.
weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be there at the chamber table, so stop by and say hello.
Come to the chamber table.
Yes.
Okay, is that going to be inside the Carlson
Oh, yeah.
building?
It'll be inside someplace. I will not be sitting outside.
Oh, I know where it'll be, yeah.
I haven't been told that part yet, but yeah. But it should be fun.
So,
So all these fairs and festivals are wonderful, attracting people to come to your town or your village. But there are other things that people can do too. You know, so Sue is a wonderful promoter of Westfield and now Mayville because of her job, but and even not because of her job. When you love a place, you love a place, and you just promote it. So one of my favorite places, even though I don't live there, is Sherman.
oh yes.
I
yes.
love the look of Sherman.
Uh-huh.
To me, it reminds me of a Wild West town.
Well, yeah, those buildings are really old.
They
and
are.
They've kept their wooden sidewalks.
I
yeah.
love it. I love
Yeah,
that.
it is really
and
nice.
that is so unique. So I think, well, and I'm not going to impose my ideas, but what could Sherman, the people of Sherman, do to add a little more oomph to that, so that, and if other towns and villages could do that, so we could actually have some kind of trail through Chautauqua County for people who come out here to tour.
Absolutely.
And people do. That would
Uh-huh.
let them see all these different towns, because every town is unique, every village is unique, and you know.
Well, that's what I think with the Orton Foundation coming into Mayville. All of the rest of us can take a lesson from that and work on that in our own way. And then, yeah, I think your idea where we could really promote the whole area would be wonderful.
So
Well, you know, one time.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. One time we were on our way. One of my brothers was sick in the hospital down in Erie, and when we'd go to the hospital to visit him, we'd go through Sherman and get on the expressway there to go to Erie. And I remember when we were turning the corner there one day to get to the entrance to the expressway, it was ahead of Christmas. It was between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and there were some people standing out there on the sidewalk dressed in costumes. And I don't remember what the other ones were dressed like, but the thing that I do remember was one guy was dressed like a cow, and they were waving to people who were driving by, and it was so funny.
Well,
you
they
know.
do have cows out there.
We had a
Yeah, they do.
Well, this was a human being dressed like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
it
and they
takes
were-
all kinds.
They were out there waving to the cars that were driving by. I think that's the costume that I remember was because it was a cow costume, you know. So, but it was pretty funny, and we had a good laugh about it that day. I remember.
But that, you remember it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you can talk about it, and you can promote Sherman with this silly
And
story.
that was just one drive through there real quick for a couple of minutes, you know. So, but yes, I do remember it. It's not the kind of thing you forget if you see somebody dressed like a cow.
No.
Right.
No.
So, yeah, that probably could, they could probably almost have Western types of things there, you know, like little dramas or something.
That's
you know,
like a little-
like those,
Like a little Gunsmoke
like,
kind of thing.
like yeah, like something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, they could have duels or something in the middle of the street. and-
yeah. Really.
That's Western movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
I recently read a book called Gunfight, and it's actually the history of the Second Amendment. And because of Westerns, we have a lot of illusions.
Right.
About
right.
what, how it really was.
Yes, because what really was going on in these out west was you had to check your guns someplace
Oh, you did?
before you could walk around inside these villages because they didn't want people drinking and getting
Oh,
out
really?
of control and
Oh, I
shooting
didn't
up the
know
place
that.
and each other. Yeah, and the other thing is, this is sort of interesting. I know we're slightly off topic here, but we don't
Whatever.
care.
Yeah, we can talk about. It's not like we rehearsed something
Right,
for today.
right.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that it was considered cowardly to have a concealed weapon. If you were
Oh.
going to walk around, you walked around with your guns showing. Interesting, I think. But aside from that, so you know, I don't want to impose on Sherman. That's, you know, we can talk about what we think might be fun in Sherman, but you know, I've had thoughts about planters with wagon wheels and other, and I'm saying that only because, and it's not my call, it's the people of Sherman's call, but I'm working with an organization called Keep Western New York Beautiful, and we are promoting a Chautauqua County initiative, and I will be the contact person for that. So what Keep Western New York Beautiful does, it does cleaning, greening, and composting and recycling kinds of initiatives. And so we really are there to support communities that want to do greening projects, plantings, trees, flowers, all those kinds of things, clean up projects if there's a public space or a neighborhood that needs to be cleaned up, and promoting recycling initiatives so that we can keep our landfills freer.
Well, there is one thing of getting back to Sherman.
See, everybody loves Sherman.
There is one thing about Sherman, and I haven't been to it yet, but some of my friends have been telling me that there's a store over there now, a food store that has a lot of vegetarian items. Do you know what the name of that store
I
is?
don't.
No.
I don't.
Huh. Maybe they didn't name it. I don't know.
But it's small enough you could
Yeah.
drive and you'd find it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
sure. Yeah, you wouldn't have any trouble finding it over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm thinking of maybe going there sometime and checking it out. And somebody just the other day told me she was impressed with what they had to sell. And so I'm thinking about going over and checking it out. Maybe if I like the kind of things they carry, I might be interested in interviewing them.
Absolutely.
You know, on this program about it. So,
Is it a woman-owned business, do you think?
I don't know. I think it might be a family-owned, which
Okay.
would probably include women.
Probably.
Probably.
But-
I know one friend of mine got some vegan marshmallows over there one time that she brought to one of our vegan dinners. So
Do you know what makes them vegan?
I don't. I almost wonder if it's something you could even get a recipe to make, you know.
You can make marshmallows. I've
Sure,
seen
I've done it a lot.
Martha Stewart make them on her show.
She does?
Oh, yeah. You can make marshmallows.
They're easy to make. I've made them a million
What
times.
does she make them out of?
Talk to Sue. Sue is
Well, the reason that marshmallows are not vegan is because they're made with gelatin. which
Right,
comes
right.
from
And gelatin is
bone
from an
marrow.
animal.
Yeah. So if you're, I don't know about vegan, but if you're vegetarian, you can have the kind that are made with fish bone marrow instead.
Yeah, that's still not
And they're-
vegetarian.
No, well, it's
Yeah.
kind of
Strictly,
vegetarian, but it's
yeah.
not vegan. It's so to make them. I'm going to
I
guess
know
that
there's-
there's some chia seeds in there because of the thickening with it. Is a possibility, or
and-
arrowroot would
Yeah,
work.
there's something called agar.
Agar.
Yeah, too, that I think
I've
is
used that a
supposed
lot.
to have kind of a gelling
It does, but it
effect.
doesn't. It's tricky. I've used that.
Have you?
Tried to use that to make marshmallows, but it tightens up a lot more than the gelatin does. So you have to be careful. But yeah, it can be done.
I know, as far as replacing eggs are concerned, people can take, for each egg a recipe would call for, you can take, for each egg, a tablespoon of flaxseed and 3 tablespoons of water, and mix it up and let it sit for 10 minutes, and that works just as well in baked goods as eggs does. You know, as long as it's something that doesn't call for a huge amount of eggs, you know, like a few eggs.
Well, you're not going to make an angel food cake out of it, but you could do it for muffins or.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. We just finished eating a batch of brownies I made using that in place of eggs, and
You can use chickpeas in that too.
oh yeah. Sometimes I actually make brownies with buckwheat flour, even instead of like whole wheat flour or something. They're gluten-free if you use the
That would be
buckwheat
true.
flour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you hear so many people claiming to be gluten intolerant these days.
Some people truly are. It's toxic.
They have to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they just don't feel good.
Oh,
if
they get very sick. It
Yeah.
destroys their intestinal system.
Does it
Yeah.
really?
Oh, it's very bad.
Celiac disease. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Wow.
dangerous.
Yeah, but a lot of people jump on it just because.
They think because they're hearing about it, I know one
Well, if I
time.
give up gluten, I'm going to lose weight. It's like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I know. Somebody told me once that it's only a small percentage of people that actually have
Right.
the problem, but it's because people have been hearing about it. They think it's kind of something that
It's just the newest food fad.
yeah, that
Well, I think there's
That they
probably some
need
health
this-
benefits
Well, there are,
to it.
there are,
too.
but there's the lactose, there's the all that.
yeah.
I
So
worked
anyway,
in culinary a long time.
I know you did.
so but anyways, I know this cornbread recipe. The cornbread recipe that I've used for many years is the reason I've always stuck with it, was because it's actually moist, and you know how cornbread tends to be dry. I was never particularly fond of it, but then one time I ran across a recipe in a book. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the name of the recipe book. Well, anyway, it was, the Tasahara bread book. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but it's a cornbread recipe that they invented accidentally. It was something about, they called it 3-layer cornbread. It calls for a lot of liquid, and they found that it would separate into like layers. It was like the cornmeal would sink, and it would be like an egg custardy layer in the middle, and the bran from the whole wheat flour would rise to the top. So they named it 3-layer cornbread. But anyway, the original recipe, how it is in their recipe book, is made with eggs and either milk or buttermilk.
Buttermilk is traditional.
Yeah, and turned out really good with buttermilk. However, somewhere along the line, I became vegan, as you know, and so I had to figure out what I was going to do to make it vegan, because I still wanted it to be that recipe that I used. So what I do with that is I just use water in place of the milk or the buttermilk, and dissolve arrowroot powder in the water, and it turns out really good. You know, it's still a really nice, moist cornbread, and it turns out really, really good, and everybody that I feed it to just loves it.
Good.
So,
Yeah, you have to think your way through all these things, but
right. As long as you know what the substitutes are,
Right.
and there's plenty of books on the subject, and
Right.
this wasn't really supposed to be an episode about vegan cooking, but here we
no,
are.
but you know, if some village would open a restaurant with a heavy emphasis on vegan food, look at all the vegans that would maybe go there.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I was going to suggest to you today, Sue, now that you mention it. You know, we were going to be talking about economic development and so forth in Westfield and like that, and Mayville, and I was thinking of suggesting, because we went, I don't know if there's any restaurants in Westfield that have a vegan option. Do you know?
I don't eat vegan, but
Because we, at one
Does
point,
Parkview?
that was my first thought. I think that Parkview
Well,
absolutely does, yeah.
because we were gonna go last year on the day of the book and paper show at Eason Hall. We were gonna go after we were there to lunch at one of the restaurants, and my husband and I went with another couple, and they had called ahead to find out if the Parkview had any vegan options, and they were told no.
Oh,
And I have heard that they specialize in cheese and stuff over there, I think.
Well,
So-
they use cheese, but I mean, you can get a really nice salad there.
yes.
Can you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to Calarco's and get their salad bar. That's totally
Oh, they have a
vegan.
salad bar, do they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of
No,
course-
I wouldn't suggest Kiss Barbecue, but
No.
not to a vegan, but to anybody else I would.
Well, you know, I've spoken with this, with the vice president of the American Vegan Society, who I'm friends with, about this, and she goes, well, I can eat salads at home, and I see the point, because I'd like to be able to go to a restaurant and be able to order something besides just a salad, though.
Right,
You know,
right,
is the
yeah.
thing of it, you know.
Sure.
So,
Having spent my life in culinary, I know a lot of good recipes. I can do that, but actually to have that, I don't know. CJs is a good option. They have they
yeah.
have a
I knew
they
that
have a
when,
veggie wedgie.
I knew
It's
that
really
when,
good. It's made with pizza dough, so there's no eggs or dairy in that, and then
Oh,
it's veggies and it's yummy. It's
Oh,
really
okay.
really good.
Okay, maybe if we decide to have lunch in Westfield after the book and paper show again this spring, maybe
Yeah, it would be a
maybe
good
we can
option.
go over there. I know there were vegan options when Patty Benton owned it, but I haven't actually eaten in there since
Where's that? Which place is that?
CJ's.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. Well, we'll have to try that if we do the same thing we did on that same Saturday
Yeah.
this year.
I'm not sure when that is.
It's usually, I think, the first Saturday in May.
Okay. I can't keep them all in my
Yeah,
head.
it's with the Chautauqua County Historical
Right, right.
Society.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It's a big
to
show.
Go in
Yeah, it
there.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, I wish I'd brought it. If I'd known the subject was going to come up, I wish I had brought it with me. But the guy that's in charge of it, his name is Bob Johnston. He's the same one with the trolley restoration project in Jamestown. And I was going through some of these postcards he had, and I picked out this one to get from him. It was so funny, I couldn't resist it. It was a picture of a Native American couple who'd apparently moved into a house that had formerly belonged to, white people. And it was so funny. The husband, it says at the bottom, it says, "White man's teepee handy," and the man, the husband, the Native American husband, is washing his feet in the toilet, and
this is bad.
This
is bad.
And the wife.
Oh no.
The wife
This is bad.
Is hanging
I'm not here.
a picture of a relative of some family member on the wall using the toilet seat for the picture frame.
This is bad. This is bad.
It was really cute though, you know. Of course, you have to remember this is an antique postcard.
That's
from
true of the time. I know. I know.
It was so funny. I just had to have it.
And where did you put it after you got it?
In a drawer.
In a drawer. It's awfully cute, though. I've shown it to various relatives who've come to visit at our house. They all like it.
This is bad. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Well, anyway, back to economic development. Yeah. Why don't you, did you go to that meeting too?
No, but you're talking about the Orton Foundation. I was going to ask if the two of you would talk a little bit about what you heard at that presentation.
Well, it's sort of like a philanthropy thing, except that they don't give you any money to do it with, but...
so then what do they provide?
Advice.
Instruction, advice. You can go on their website and look it up. The first thing that they say is like what you said, is that each town has to find what's important to them, and then you focus on that. And then they had ways that you could do that with community block parties. Like you have to reach out to people who normally wouldn't give their opinion or whatever. One of the exercises that they had us do, they gave everybody a piece of paper to take notes. And then she had everybody crumble it up and toss it into an empty garbage can.
We didn't actually take any notes with the paper. At first I thought that's what, she said something about idea papers. And I thought we were supposed to write an idea down on it as what she was going to have us do. But instead she had us crumple them up, and then she had a trash can in the middle aisle at the location of the meeting, and you were supposed to throw your crumpled up paper to see if it would get into the trash can. And of course, most people who were there were nowhere near close. And
I was seated the closest. Mine was the first one.
Oh, was it really? So anyway, mine didn't, and my husband's didn't, and we were by the center aisle, but the trash can was way up in front, so even ours came short of going into it, because paper, being so lightweight, it doesn't, unless there's a wind or something, which we were indoors, it doesn't.
But the idea was
there.
to show that the people who are closest to the center are the ones that are involved, and that you have to go to the outer reaches. There was a gentleman in the back corner who still had his piece of paper. He didn't even crumble it. So she picked up her basket and she ran around there and had him throw it in. And she said, those are the people that you have to reach out to. So one of their suggestions is to go into those neighborhoods where people maybe just live, and let them know that they're involved, and just, I guess, set up a grill and start grilling some hot dogs and
getting ideas from people, what they would like to see. Like one woman, she asked for a volunteer to stand up and tell what she liked.
That would be me.
Oh, was that you that stood up and said that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
You must have had your hair in a ponytail that night.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
yeah, I would have sworn it wasn't.
It was me.
It was
Because she had us stand up and talk to somebody that we did not know. So I was towards the front, and lady and I were standing there talking. And then she said, now, did anybody talk to somebody they didn't know? Because a lot of people talk to their husband or whatever.
Yeah,
and so
I
we
did.
said yes. And then she said, you know, and what is something that you liked about what Mayville or something? So I put my hand up, so she had me come up to the front, which I didn't expect to have to do, but I did. And then she said, what is it that you like about Mayville? And I said, oh, I don't know what I said, the lake and
Boxcar
boxcar parties, because I love
I-
their ice cream. And don't remember what else I said, but anyway, so then it wasn't just that, it was,
and then
well,
she-
what do you like about it, and why do you like that? And
But then she said, what would you like to see that isn't there? And you said that you would like to see all of those empty storefronts filled with
Exactly.
businesses.
Mhm. Oh, Two Lakes Studio was one of the things that I said I
Oh,
liked.
oh, okay,
I just love
okay.
that store.
Uh-huh.
And when she first opened, I said, Carrie, I wish you were in Westfield. And she said, well, I'm here.
So that's Community Development 101, is you don't wait for people to come to you, because
go to
people
them.
don't come.
Exactly.
You have to go out.
Right. So I came away from that meeting, and I think before I even left the building, I was on Facebook on my Westfield Barcelona Community Chamber page, and I said, you know, what is something you like about Westfield? Just to kind of get the ball rolling. Well, within a day or two, I started, you know, making notes. What is it? So then after a few days, I put out a list of what people said. And people was the first thing people said. That was
People?
People. The people of Westfield is what they like best about Westfield.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then-
that's true in most communities.
And I thought that was, I just thought that was awesome, and the community spirit. The sunsets was a big thing. It was very interesting to me to see what that was. So then from there, I took it and I said, the next question was, what building do you like best? Or what building in town do you like best? And I used the words in town on purpose. I mean, we have the village and we have the town. And I meant the whole thing.
You meant the whole town?
Yes.
Okay.
But what people concentrated on was
Yeah,
downtown.
they would
Downtown.
interpret
So,
it that way.
you know, probably 9 out of 10 was the library. And then the Presbyterian Church and the McClurg Mansion. And so after a few days, I said, I find it really, and this is under the guise of Westfield Barcelona Community Chamber of Commerce, I said, I find it interesting that no one has mentioned the lighthouse. And a lady said, well, you said in town. So then I went back and I amended it and I said, what do you like best? What building do you like best in Westfield, Barcelona? So we'll see where that goes, because I just did that yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I haven't,
Okay.
you know, so I'm trying in my own simple little way, without having the foundation behind me. I'm just trying to pick up on some of the things that they did, and I'm planning a strategic planning meeting for late in April, and I've been talking with some of the other nonprofits in town, and with the Westfield Development Corps, we've come up with a list of nonprofits that we're going to invite to come to this meeting, so that we can get more community involvement of those who are already involved, but then to be able to reach out to others in the neighborhoods and stuff like that too. And I had already planned on that. We've been working on that, but my husband was ill, so I had to kind of take a little time off. But now I'm back with a vengeance, and
Oh, yeah.
so look out. But that's one of my ideas.
Yeah.
I spoke with Nancy Scrivens from the farmers market, and so I'm going to wait until she gets back to town. And I'm working with a city planner from Cambridge, and we're going to work on things that we need to work on for Westfield and Barcelona, of course. But I want to piggyback off of Mayville. I'm hoping that we can learn from them, they can learn from us, kind of thing. I was approached some months ago from people in Mayville, wanted to know what's going on in Westfield. You've got you know, you've got this new bar opening, you've got the living room, you've got, you know, Serendipity, you've got the Annex 25, all these new places that are coming into town. And
You have
they
a lot
wanted
of
to
gift
know.
shops over there.
We don't have a lot of gift shops.
Really?
No, we have, no.
Antique stores?
We have a couple of antique stores. We have the Antiques Mall, like, and we have House of Seraphs, and then we have the other one, I can't think of the name of it offhand. Gift shops, we have Peaceful Designs, and that's not really so much gifts as it is really nice crafts. You have Jerry, who owns it. She does pottery, just gorgeous pottery, but she has other people in there that do woodworking and sewing. And,
Fiber.
you know, there are a lot of really unique things. And then Serendipity is a new store on Portage Street, and they do a lot of different kinds of things. They have hand knit things, they have papers, they have embroidered towels, and a lot of stuff like that. It's more handmade. It's not actually, when I think of gift shops, I think of, you know, where they're souvenir trinkets and that kind of stuff. Or candles, and I guess these places have candles too. But and then Blanche's, I guess you could say that that's a little gifty, but I mean they have.
Well, isn't the Art
fabulous
Glass store still there?
Living Art Glass is
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's not. I wouldn't call that a gift shop.
Really?
That's a gallery. That's the
Oh, a
Living,
gallery?
Living Art Glass Gallery. Yeah, she has an opening coming up soon with a new artist, and she's fairly new in town.
She was in Mayville, yeah.
Right. We have a lot of, we do have several galleries. We have the Octagon Gallery inside the library. We have Lakeshore Center for the Arts. We have a gallery, Portage Hill, which is kind of straddling Mayville and Westfield. But we have
Patty's
a
Place.
really nice mix. Oh yeah, Surroundings is another gallery, and
Gift shop.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you could call it a gift shop.
Why?
but-
Well, you buy people
Right.
jewelry as a gift. You buy
Yeah.
glassware.
Yeah,
You
and there's
know,
the
there's-
Nest inside of the Westfield Community Pharmacy. They
Yeah,
have-
there's a sort of a craft store, now that I think of it. I haven't actually been in, but it's on the corner of North Gale and
Gale Street Studio
Street.
or Mrs. Plum's. They're both
Plum's,
there.
yes. Yes,
Yeah,
and that other
Mrs. Plum's is
slot
a
of sea
gallery.
glass at the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Kate Mayer at Gale Street Studio, she does the embroidered, or not embroidered. She does the sandblasted rocks. You can get the sayings on them and stuff.
I
She
guess
does,
I saw
she does
some
homemade
that
signs.
somebody had bought for somebody.
Oh yeah,
some
yeah.
of them.
She also has Creative Ink is in there. She shows some
Creative
of their
Ink?
stuff. Yeah, she does T-shirts and coasters and stuff with the Westfield Barcelona logo. Yeah, we do. I guess we do have gift shops, but I think of each one of them individually. Like Mrs. Plum's in the Purple Barn, right there, Gale and Portage, or Gale and 20. It's her own artwork, but she has from pins you can wear
Yeah.
to postcards to
Yeah.
paintings,
Yeah.
and she does classes. We have a lot of classes. You can
Oh, yeah.
you can find classes on knitting, painting, sculpting, cooking, anything you want. We have.
And then Dario Woltz has the yoga studio out there
Yeah.
on the Hardscrabble
Yeah.
Road. And
I don't know that name. I know Jen Raines.
Well, it's the same studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Pantera.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just saw an advertisement for a massage therapy place in Westfield.
we have a couple.
It was Jen Raines and somebody named Brenda Steele.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
They're in the building with Joel Seacrest right next door to Blanche's.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then we have another one, Kevin Wood, with Adaptive Massage. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Bill Kuick from Fredonia on my television program. That episode has already aired. He's owner of Fredonia Massage Therapy, and he came and brought a friend with him and did a massage demonstration on her. So
Nice.
for my TV show. So that was really nice.
So I moved to Westfield, going on 9 years ago now. And you mentioned the 60s. Well, in the late 60s, early 70s, more likely, very early 70s, I came to Westfield with a friend of mine. She just asked me to come along. And I saw Westfield. I'd known it from my childhood because my parents brought me here every summer, and we had a little tiny cabin on Chautauqua Lake. So we came to Westfield, and I remember the fishery and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I came back in the late 60s, early 70s, and saw it, and it stuck in my head as a young adult as a really beautiful place. So when I was looking for a place 10 years ago to relocate, I remembered Westfield. It does that to you. But when I moved in, Westfield was pretty empty. I could tell from looking at the bones of the community that it would come back someday. But it's really only been in the last few years that the momentum has picked up enough speed to turn it around and into some place that, as I went around the county during the last election cycle, people have their eye on Westfield.
Well, you know,
and it can happen anywhere.
You know, the thing to me that's disappointing about Westfield is when I was very young, when I was a child and a young adult, they had several clothing and shoe stores over there. Really nice ones, you know.
Sincerely Yours.
Sincerely Yours. They had like at least 2 shoe stores. They had the outdoor store.
Canella's.
And there was another clothing store. I don't even remember the names.
Well, do you know
of them.
anybody that would like to open one?
I wish.
If you do, if anyone
if
out
anybody
there
wants
is
to.
interested,
I mean,
please.
you could literally, people that lived in Mayville and Westfield could literally just go clothes and shoe shopping in Westfield. And now you have to go like to Lakewood or Dunkirk, at least, you know what I mean?
Well, we do have a children's shop. We have a children's resale shop on Market Street, and she just has fabulous things. It's resale plus other kinds of stuff. And then Thrifty Kitty has some clothing, you know. But it's not, I know it's not what you're talking about. But
nice
but
boutique
we're
stuff,
open to that. If anybody knows anybody that would like to open that kind of stuff,
yeah,
we're
because
more than happy.
that's, I mean, I'd like to see, I mean, we even had a couple of things like that in Mayville when I was a kid. You know, it was, it's just
everybody
kind of
tends
sad.
to go to the big stores now, though. They go to Erie
it
for
just,
that, or
the malls,
It's
it's just,
sad.
I just sort of miss that, not being able to go to a store like that within the Mayville or Westfield area.
Right, but if you go to Ellicottville in Cattaraugus County, there are tons of clothing shops there, and
and it's a small town?
Yeah, it's a small town. Yeah, this, you know, if you have a reason that people want to come to where you are, you can make all kinds of things fly.
So if anybody wants to,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well,
but one thing we do have that's just fabulous is Tony's Shoe Repair.
Oh,
You know, we are so lucky to have him.
I went to pick up, back in the spring, I think it was, I went one day to pick up some shoes of my husband's that he'd dropped off there to be repaired, and I went in and I went in and I saw all of these rubber rain boots.
Oh, he's got
And
incredible.
it's like, well, I said to him, I said, well, when the ones I've got now wear out, I know where I'm going to get my next pair, because it seemed like his prices appeared to be reasonable and everything.
But if you need a zipper fixed or anything, he's your man.
He'll fix a zipper, can he?
Yeah.
Like on a coat?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Actually, that day that I was in there, I asked him if he wanted to be on my television show. And I think I made him a little bit nervous, and he's going, well, I don't know, I'm already awfully busy.
He is.
He
He's
goes,
very
if I'm
busy.
on television, I don't know if I could keep up with all the work he's
Right.
doing. My husband.
That's a good problem to have.
His father was in the same high school graduating class as my husband.
Oh, okay.
So that was down in Falconer.
Hmm. That's one thing I love about the Westfield, Barcelona area is that everybody's related to somebody, except for the two of us. We're all by ourselves.
I'm not related to anybody except my children and my grandchildren.
You know, I have neighbors that are related, I swear, everybody in town. You just,
Yeah, you know,
yeah,
I know. I know people who seem to be. You can mention anybody's name to them in the Mayville area. This one woman that I know, and it's like, oh, he's my cousin, or she's my cousin, or he's my nephew, or she's my niece. You know, it seems like some of people, their families have been around so long
They have.
that they.
well, and our houses have names too, you know.
Well, you know,
That's right. That's
People say,
right.
"Oh,
it's
that's
not
the-
my house. It's the
That's,
people
that's
before
the old
me.
Beckman's house. That's
Well, you know,
Dave Carell's house.
Right.
It's,
The roads that are out in the country, you know, like the one I live on, and like that, they're all named after the
Yeah.
first family that
Yes.
lived on
Right.
the road.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
in fact, there's a Crawford Road. That's part of your
That is
name,
my-
and there's a Crawford Road. Turns off of right.
right off of
Right.
Beaujean.
Right, it goes from Beaujean to Bloomer, which
Right.
is where I live, is on
Oh, okay.
Bloomer
Yeah.
Road. So,
It's
and
pretty
then
back in there.
and then there's like the Hannum Road, and my third grade teacher's last name was Hannum, and I think there's still Hannums around in the Mayville area. There's the Bentley Road, and there's Bentleys in the Mayville area,
And in Ripley.
and in Ripley, and oh gosh, you know, McKay Road, Vaness Road, all of these roads that were named after, given their names by somebody's last name. So-
It's funny when, if you go to a party and all the local people begin to talk about everybody who's in their family and
Right.
who they hung around with. And then there's usually now a small group of people who are not native to Chautauqua County, and we just sit there and
Yeah.
we go, okay, now they're talking. You
We don't know who you're talking
Right.
about.
Right.
You
One-
know.
one of my
And
friends
the
is-
assumption is you do know all these people, and you
Right.
don't. So you have to
Right.
pay attention, and then you start learning everybody's family history.
Yeah. One of my friends has been here, lived in Westfield since 1978, I think. But we'll all get around the table talking like that, and it's like a name will come up. Oh yeah, isn't that related to so and so?
Yeah.
And see, because I was here in the '60s, you know, as a kid, I grew up here. These names all do mean something to me. I do remember them, and my friend will go, you know, you've only been here a few years and you know more than I do. It's like just because I
Because of
remember
your
way back
history
then. Yeah,
of
yeah.
the area.
Yeah. I have to laugh. When I first became involved with the Chamber of Commerce, I had people saying, you know, oh, well, so-and-so was saying, well, quite a few people said, that's not a local phone number. Who's this woman thinks she is coming in here telling us what to do? And
Yeah.
one particular person was saying that quite a bit, so I made a point of going to that business. And after I introduced myself, I said, by the way, I used to babysit for you. He was like, oh, you did? When was that? So I told
Well,
him,
you
and he was
know,
like, oh, yeah, you
There
did.
is somebody, you know, there is somebody that I used to babysit, you know, in the Mayville area, that I never mention it to him because maybe he'd be embarrassed or something,
Oh.
you know what I
I
mean?
babysat a lot when I lived here. So I was in a lot of homes. I babysit for a
Yeah.
lot of kids. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So that really gets you really know people then.
But one of in the defense of people who are moving into the area, and people do move in, and people moved in
They're here
20,
because they
30
want to be.
years ago. They're here because they value this place, and they come with interesting backgrounds
Right.
and things to contribute. And so it is really important that folks allow new ideas to come
Absolutely.
forward and to embrace new people who move into the community. And we do an evening once in a while where we invite all the recent arrivals to Westfield to a party, so old and new can get to meet each other and know each other. And I think it's important. It
At the library-
changes what keeps places alive. If you
Right.
don't change, you die.
Right. The library is going to do a friends dating night.
Oh,
They're
gee.
A friends dating night?
Well, friends speed dating, which sounds really interesting.
For single people.
No, just for people.
Oh,
you
just
don't have
so
to be
to be
single.
friends, you don't
Yeah.
have to go out on a date.
Right.
Oh, good. That's
right.
okay.
You can just go to meet new friends and
That's
you know
nice.
talk about different things that you
That's
like,
nice.
but it's going to be on the speed dating kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're also doing a date night where you can take your kids and they'll provide the babysitters, and then there's going to be like a game room and maybe a dance room or whatever. They're
Oh, wow.
do things like that. Yeah, Tom Vitale,
He
really,
is so dynamic.
He really is. He has a lot of great ideas.
Yes, he does.
Well, guess what?
It's time?
Yes,
Oh,
already.
goodness.
It went
What
fast.
were we going to talk about?
I don't know.
Economic development. Okay. I'll have to have you guys on again and just have one of these blowing in the wind kind of conversations where we just
Yeah,
flit
we tend
around.
to do that. a
Yeah,
lot.
we can do that.
You know, but I want to thank you both for coming on today. It's been a lot of fun. And I'll see the rest of you in the viewing audience on the next episode in a couple of weeks.